We are Georgia and David. We quit our jobs to travel full-time around Mexico with our 14-year-old Sheltie Poo Meep. Our goal is to take a picture with her in front of 100 Pueblo signs.
This is our first full day in Zacatecas, and our goals for right now are to attempt to find an ATM and then also see what time they do the little trolley around town. I've heard that it's a good way to kind of get a lay of the land, so see if we figure it out.
We're also looking for some food.
Yeah, we are a little hungry.
After finding an ATM, those pesos were burning a hole in my pocket, so we found a little gemstone shop. I bought a pyrite necklace set in sterling silver for a wonderful price. Now off to find some food. So we did manage to find an ATM, and we did manage to find something to eat. We had some awesome birria. We had tacos dorados and some queso birrias. So absolutely delicious. Highly recommend that place.
Now we're actually on a tour bus. This is the first time we've ever done one of these things. And we're just going to be riding on the top up here, and hopefully we understand what they say, because I'm pretty sure this is not going to be in English.
It was 80 pesos per person. The tour was supposed to last like 40 minutes to an hour, so we're sitting out in the sun on the top deck trying to get the best pictures we can.
Hopefully we don't get too sunburned. Really don't know why we haven't done one of these tours in the past. Maybe because it seems super touristy. If you're visiting any city that has one of these tour bus setups, you should probably give it a go. You see all the sights, and probably more helpful is you get a really good lay of the land. We even found a cool rooftop mezcal bar that we ended up stopping at multiple times during our stay. Pro tip, right up top for the best views and pictures, but wear sunscreen. We didn't, and we got a little bit burned. We didn't get a chance to stop by, but we think this Café du Monde might be a little bit different than the one we visited in New Orleans.
After hopping off the trolley, we stopped at Mercado Gonzalez Ortega. It's been a mercado since 1861, but then burnt to the ground in 1901 and was reconstructed in 1902. The architecture is absolutely beautiful, and even if you're not in the mood for some shopping, I suggest stopping by. Later that evening, we picked up Meep from the house and took our family photo before heading over to Milk Brew Pub. The food there was really good, and this wouldn't be our last visit. The outdoor seating and twinkle lights around the tree made it a very beautiful place to stop. We just finished up breakfast brunch at Taqueria Windy. I got the enchiladas suizas. David got the tacos dorados. It was real solid, especially for the price.
Yeah, real cheap.
So right now we're getting ready to go check out a church and a museum.
Museo Rafael Coronel.
And it used to be like a convent,
that they have converted it into an art museum. So we're getting ready to go check it out.
When we arrived at the Templo de Jesus, there was a service going on, so we could not record inside. We walked over to the museum, and the ticket counter didn't have any change. Luckily, a famous ice cream stand was set up right outside, so we were able to break our huge 200 peso bill. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us record inside, so we just took pictures. This ex-convent holds over 5,000 masks, making it Mexico's largest collection. They were all donated by Raphael Cornell, hence the name of the museum. The masks range from beautiful to fierce to downright creepy. And the grounds of this ex-convent were almost as impressive as the masks inside.
Our next stop was the Inquisition Museum. They have replicas of various torture devices and explain in detail how each one of them was used. It was a fairly gruesome tour, but if you're into that kind of thing, we thought it was pretty cool.
3 days later.
I was so excited to go check out this church. It looks like it's straight out of a Disney movie.
So we got started a little earlier than usual today to hike up one of the larger hills here in Zacatecas to check out what is rumored to be the most beautiful church in Zacatecas and one of the most beautiful in the country, and we have to agree.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And what's the name of the church?
It's Parroquia de Nuestra Señora de Fatima.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's definitely gorgeous inside. There's tons of stained glass, and it's very ornate.
Next up was a museum conveniently located right in front of the church.
Currently in Parque Sierra de Alicia, and it is right in front of the art museum we just visited.
Museo de Francisco Goitia, I think it's pronounced.
It is a modern and abstract art museum, but I think one of the more impressive things is the actual house itself, as well as the gardens that surround it. And some of the art pieces were really cool as well. We definitely enjoyed it. After our little stroll through the park here, we're going to check out the Aqueduct, and then maybe head over to a very unique hotel to try to grab some lunch.
Because I'm starving.
The Aqueduct is located on the other side of the park. Next to it is the Quinta Real Hotel, which is the only hotel in the world that was once a bullfighting ring. Inside is Restaurante La Plaza, where we had a delicious but pricey brunch.
So we have decided to take Meep out to dinner again. A couple of nights ago, we had dinner at that restaurant. And tonight, hello David. Tonight, we are at this restaurant. There's a whole row of restaurants with outdoor seating, so it's kind of perfect.
So if you're looking for mezcal, just down from the main church
is El Son de Mezcal. And from what we've seen, they have the best prices and a huge selection. And they even have the Añejos bottles open to try. So we highly recommend stopping by here if mezcal is your thing. So if you're looking to try some of the local sweets and candies, we highly recommend El Eden. They have a very, very impressive selection of candy and other dulces. Their mezcal selection is kind of so-so. So when we were having dinner with Meep the other night, I noticed across the square this little gourmet chocolate shop. So we're gonna go inside and check it out.
So you'll notice I'm wearing a jacket.
You'll notice I have long sleeves on, and it is because it is quite chilly. In the evenings here in Zacatecas, the temperature in June has been dropping into the 60s and even into the 50s overnight. The lows are like 49, 50, 51. So if you do come to this amazing city, we highly recommend bringing some warmer clothes, jacket, sweater, that sort of thing. This morning after we had our birria and we stopped by the little chocolate place, we also stopped by a little coffee shop where they actually toast and grind their own beans. So they let us taste a few different coffees as shots of espresso to select which one we wanted to buy. And I have to say it was really, really delicious. And it was only $6 for a half kilo, which is a little over a pound. So it was a really great deal.
That night we visited Milk Brew Pub again with Meep in tow. We really enjoyed the chicken wings. The next day we visited Hunter's Barbecue looking for a taste of home. It wasn't the best we've ever had, but it did hit the spot.
We just finished up breakfast at, or I guess brunch. We just finished up brunch at our favorite birria restaurant. We've tried two here in Zacatecas, and luckily we like the one closer to our house better. Right now we are headed to see a few museums, so we're fueled up and ready to go.
We made it to our first museum, which is right behind us. It's Museo Zacatecano. It's open every day except for Tuesdays, 10 to 5.
The Zacatecano Museum is a fairly eclectic museum with articles ranging from archaeological to different currencies to what was my favorite part, this giant mural that was all hand beaded. After that, it was on to yet another museum.
finished up at the Arte Abstracto Museo, which we're not huge art buffs, but there is one room in here that is just amazingly cool. They had this art exhibition in
1970.
yeah, in Osaka, and a bunch of abstract artists from Mexico made these giant, and I do mean giant, paintings.
You have to stand back like 50 feet to get a good picture of one.
I mean, they are really cool, and you can kind of get lost in them because you can see so much because it is abstract art. So I would say I really did think that that was cool. The building itself is also really neat, so I would say it is worth a visit. It was only 30 pesos, so it was $1.50 to get in. We did go through it pretty quickly,
Yeah.
but there were some cool sculptures, and even if you're not a big art buff, I'd say it's worth it.
I chose costillas de Sancho for my birthday dinner, as it was highly rated and looked fancy. We started out with Iberico pork thinly sliced tableside. We shared a bottle of wine, a full rack of ribs with 2 sauces, and a tomahawk chop. The food was good, but not mind-blowing. A few times during our 28-day stay in Zacatecas, we saw tamborazo bands leading crowds to the Plaza de Armas, where they would seemingly have a dance-off. Or maybe it was a competition between the different bands. We don't really know, but we enjoyed watching it. We ended the night at our favorite rooftop bar. The service was excellent, as always, and they even brought me a slice of cake when they found out it was my birthday.
There were so many awesome things to do in Zacatecas that we had to split this video. Check out last week's video where we showed everything that we did on the Bufa, and next week we'll give an Airbnb tour as well as a final breakdown of costs and top recommendations. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please like and subscribe, and of course leave any comments or questions down below.